And here we are on the beaches of Normandy, June 6, 1944. We see our briefing here from Dwight D. Eisenhower, and we can see the different prestige point victories that we can score here. A decisive or brilliant victory based on how many objectives we capture and do so before turn 13. So we need to clear the beach and all the objectives before the end of turn 13, which will be D-Day plus 13. Carentan, all the other objectives which we know of, St. Lo, Cherbourg, Caen, many popular objectives to capture, and we can do so in our own order. We see the Germans already dug in along the beach. This is the Atlantic Wall, of course. We'll need to break through all their defenses just north of towns like Bayeux and St. Lo. Carentan over here to the west, and it looks like U.S. Rangers have already landed at Point du Hoc, I believe. So we're going to push them south and capture that very important town between the two bridges. We're also going to then start bombarding all of the troops on the beach. So let's start hitting them hard with some naval bombardments. Here we go. All right, we also see some aircraft just below, or rather above, those ships there. They should be able to be carrying paratroopers and British commandos, which can then capture objectives such as Pegasus Bridge over in the east there. You can see it as Objective B. The more of these that we capture, the better, and the quicker that we can move our troops across. Looks like the Germans are getting quite heavily damaged by our attacks. It's very good to see. We're going to see if we can flank around with infantry very soon. All right, you can see all the U.S. troops inside of the Higgins landing craft here. Some of them contain different types of units, including snipers, engineers, and whatnot, that will be able to clear objectives and destroy tanks or infantry faster based off their specification. We're going to do some recon, too, to find out what the Germans have lying behind the lines. We can see 2 infantry squads here ready to go, and we can see more infantry inside the town to the rear. We might be able to find a tank here somewhere. Well, there we are. German tanks there have been spotted. Let's see what might come from Cherbourg. Looks like there's more infantry near Cherbourg, and also let's see what's behind here. Looks like another infantry squad inside the town. So essentially we're ready to move forward. The Germans will get their turn next and will probably bring up armor as quickly as possible. We're going to go ahead and try to continue to bombard German forces here. Looks like we got no other targets on the beach aside from the infantry, so we'll try to hammer them, which I think won't do much since they've already pretty much been bombed to hell. We'll see. And 1 KI. Alright, well that does a good job of weakening the infantry for our troops to attack. Our troops, of course, are landing against the Atlantic Wall, so we are going to take some losses. It wasn't 0 for the Allies in D-Day, of course. So let's go ahead and start hitting the beach. First wave comes ashore, destroying those German forces, taking some good losses themselves. They can continue through for the attacks on the next turn. Let's continue to hit them. Get in there, boys. Excellent. Very good. A little better on this turn. Excellent. We've also taken some prisoners. Okay, we're coming ashore now over here by this town, and it looks like we have ourselves a naval port to capture. We're going to clean up the Germans here to make an easy landing for our remaining forces. Very good. We flanked them quite easily, and it looks like the remaining forces will get some prisoners and also some more landing zones here. Fantastic. Almost all of our troops are ashore, except for the troops here at Carentan. I'm a little worried because I believe these troops might be liquidated. The 4th U.S. Infantry Division might be absolutely destroyed by their landing here. We'll see how it goes. All right, thoughts and prayers. Here we go. Come on, boys. Oof, a heavy hit against our U.S. troops, but they were able to push those Germans out. We now have reinforcements that can land nearby. Let's go ahead and see if we can wipe out these Germans, though these paradrop troops might actually end up dying due to nearby infantry or tanks. So let's see if we can take the area around Carentan. They landed successfully, and excellent. We were able to take that other objective. Very good. Looks like we've got the road to Carentan now. We can walk right in, but I'm guaranteed that there's Germans there for sure. There's got to be, right? There's always Germans. Okay, let's see if we can take Carentan itself now. I believe there's Germans there, but I think it might be a good idea for us to drop the 101st on top of Carentan. Let's see what happens. Wow, we took another objective. So far, so good. We've got, let's see what we have for objectives. We also need to worry about supply and such, which is something I can't master in this game yet, but we have one more squad to call in, the British troops at Pegasus Bridge. And excellent. They now have the other side of the bridge, and it looks like if we attack, we're not going to do so well. So we'll hold with the British forces until reinforcements arrive. Okay, now we know that in the next turn, we will be receiving some British infantry divisions, U.S. armor, and some British armor as well. So we need to get our troops off the beach so we can make room for that the rest of that armor. So we do need to continue to attack the Germans. This is D-Day after all, so we need to get off the beach and start hitting them hard. So we do need to push the Germans back. Another objective opened up for us. We won't be able to take it till the next turn, though. Blue means that only these troops can move, but they're out of moving points. And orange means that they can attack, but they're out of the distance that they can move, basically. Things are looking really good so far across the front. We do control Carentan, and pretty much Bayo, we just need to move south to it. Pegasus Bridge is also being held, although it says Pegasus Bridge B. I wonder exactly what that means. Maybe a bonus objective or something. We need to take Bayo by turn 4. Turn 1 has already been completed. Cherbourg needs to be taken by turn 10, as well as St. Lo and Caen. So we do need to... Wow, it's going to be very difficult for the Brits to push. So there's definitely going to be some more German armor this way. So we're going to be seeing a lot of forces this way. So getting south to the airfield in Caen is going to be very difficult. Going that short distance is going to prove to be very difficult. What we'll try to do here now is we'll try to push to the west to Barneville and cut off the Germans on the peninsula, and then we'll try to push north to Cherbourg. I believe capturing this also gives us some additional income points, which will allow me to call in some more units. So let's get on with our next turn. Let's see what the Germans do. Wow, this is like an ad or something. For Unity of Command, available now on PC. Command your forces in Western... Okay. Oh boy, we've got... Oh, the Germans actually blew up a bridge there. They sabotaged a bridge. Very interesting. Okay. Germans now trying to cut some of our movement. Very interesting. The bridge right there has been destroyed. Looks like possibly a rail bridge, but our forces could have used it to move. Let's see. A bridge is a bridge after all. All right, looks like we've got a lot of red exclamation points next to our troops, which means that they're running very low on supply. So we need to make sure that we supply them. As you can see, there's some forces there that need to be resupplied to the main hub, and the Germans are surrounding us. But we can hit them with the battleships. Let them have it, boys. Don't let those Germans near Carentan. We got to hold on to that one. It's going to be important for us to bring more troops aboard. So let's hit those Germans, and then let's try to... oh, we can actually do different types of attacks. Suppressive fire, pierce attack, feint attack, or full attack. Interesting. I want to try to get these Germans out of here so we can get more forces out of town. So we need to push these Germans back, yeah. So now that Carentan is essentially empty, I can bring in some more forces here. So you can see that we can bring in, for example, British armor here, but we need to get these troops out of the way. So that's why you need to keep pushing forward. So we're going to try to move forward slightly into the town. That way we can complete another objective. Let's start calling our armor aboard now. Let's get the British armor here. Excellent. And we can start calling them down towards the airfield. But we better move with infantry first just to make sure. Actually, let's check with a scout before we even start that mess. Looks like there is a British, or rather German infantry squad there. So let's get the British tanks down here. And we'll try to take the airfield too. So that's going to result in 2 dead Germans, more than likely, and a damaged tank. And we'll move the infantry in. Fantastic. Another objective has been taken. And now we have more bombers available, which we can call out at any time. Anytime that we want to call those bombers, we have some additional cards to play. Very cool. All right, the Germans are getting a little close over by Pegasus Bridge. And it looks like the Germans there at Caen, they're probably going to go ahead and blow that bridge if we cross. So I don't want to do that. But German tanks are on the way, rest assured. But now we're kind of confined to moving this direction. So they've kind of cut our forces off. Doesn't look like we can repair any bridges. We don't have any heavy engineering units yet. So we'll have to work on that soon enough. Alright, I see some Germans there. I don't think there's much more we can do with the battleships. They won't be able to fire too close inland. So let's try to wipe that squad out with our remaining battleship rounds there. There we go. And continue to push the Germans so we can get some, I guess, some units moving. Alright, we now have 3 bombers at our disposal for this turn. I'm going to call out the 4th one next in the next turn so we can start dealing with enemy tanks that are likely to be here. Caen is heavily dug in, but as the British did, we're going to bomb the hell out of it. And it is going to be heavily defended, so we're going to try to make things a little easier for our defending British on the right flank. So we did lighten those forces up a little bit. Unfortunately, there's no other targets I can hit except for those troops with battleship rounds. Let's try to finish them off. It's going to be very unlikely to finish those troops. Let's go ahead and see if we can do it, though. All right, there we go. Okay, now we can bring in some more armor at Carentan, rather American tanks, I think. We'll get our troops moving south, too. Also, I think our infantry can also cross small rivers, but it doesn't take a turn in order to do a full river crossing. Let's go ahead and get armor here. Excellent. Let's get that moving over to the right side. We'll try to cut off the Germans from moving armor south, or rather infantry. Looks like they've got quite a decent squad here. Let's see what else the Germans have. Looks like another infantry squad lying in wait. Let's try another British, or rather American tank. And let's try to hit these units here. So we've discovered German artillery and all, oh, a lot of stuff here as well. You can kind of see what the makeup is on the right side of their units. That team seems to be an oh, it's a green rifle, I think, so it means elite infantry, I believe. We got to start hitting these guys hard and start pushing them back so we can make room for additional forces. If we attack, our infantry is likely to die, so we don't want to do that anymore. We do need to push through all these infantry, though, and we need to get some more breathing room for American troops. Carentan, I don't want those squads to leave there. We need that for reinforcements. Let's see if we can call in some more American infantry. Let's try U.S. 2nd Infantry Division. And I believe, oh, they come out down here. So we can keep on pushing. So these guys, Ranger Battalion, are a little roughed up from previous operations. Let's see if we can get this tank out of here. It looks like it can't move. Okay. We'll send this infantry squad to the back then. And we'll send these infantry up. Looks like they'll fare a little better against the Germans. There we go. And our tank can't attack again, but this squad can, but they'd be wiped out. Very strategic game. You need to make sure that you've got a lot of points and a lot of extra oomph in your attack before you push through. You need to maintain an attack and prepare for counterattacks too. Unfortunately, you can't stack infantry on top of each other, so you can't. It's kind of all hexagonal, which is a little hard for me to wrap my head around, but so far so good. Things are going quite well. All right, let's see if we can get some additional reinforcements over here at Carentan for the Americans. And we'll continue to push out from Carentan. Actually, can these troops... they can only land, I see. So these troops won't be able to move forward. But these troops can. There we go. Trying to flood the area now with friendly troops. These troops should be able to attack. I want to lighten these guys up with more attacks, though. We'll do that in the next turn. We'll have to focus on tanks next. Okay. Some more British troops to call up then. American there, and more British here. And next we have 79th U.S. Infantry Division, and then we have more U.S. Infantry Divisions and more tanks. So infantry's coming next. We do need to keep our tanks alive. We need to watch out for that. And there we are. We spotted a German tank. How lovely. All right, we'll get our infantry to move into position. And we're trying to basically clear the beaches so that way we can call in more reinforcements. So we do need to keep up with the attack. We'll have these guys shift out, and these ones shift in for another attack. More, ooh, the Germans have actually bailed from the attack. Good. I think we might be able to move some units in here. Nope. Don't want to attack that. Seems like this might be an AT squad, a Folsomjäger squad. Very elite infantry. And they do have AT weapons with them, so that's going to damage our tank. But right now we need to build up our forces before we advance. Alright, let's see what the Germans have lying in wait for us behind. Oop, just a moment. Okay, let's see. So more infantry coming up. We do see tanks here. That Panzer IV, I believe we spotted earlier. There is one there as well. So more German tanks here around Caen. So we see 1, 2, 3, 4 German tank units versus our 3. And these are probably Panther tanks too. So we're in for some real hurt here in just a moment or two. Alright, let's go on to the next turn. We're starting to hurt now. It's going to be a real punishment to us in this next turn. Let's see what happens. Here in Unity of Command 2. Alright, let's see. Oof. British tanks having a tough day. Alright, the Germans are now on the attack with Panzer IVs and Panther tanks pushing our infantry back. We'll receive some more reinforcements soon, but we've got something that the Germans don't, which is air power. And these tanks are essentially, well, helpless to stop us. Alright, the Germans have destroyed yet another bridge in their territory, but that actually serves us well because we've got all these units here and just a few Germans to push out of St. Lo. So if we push forward, we can do that. I'm going to try to make a new, let's see if we can get the U.S. Infantry Division here. There we go. I'm going to try to make a new supply hub here in just a moment. Well, let's call out some more planes. I'd like to do that now. We're going to call out the use card. Yes, there we go. All right, so now we get 4 bombers, and I want to put some damn hurt on those Panther tanks specifically so we can cut through with our tanks, especially this way, behind them. There we go. Excellent. We've essentially nullified the effects of that Panther tank. So now if we successfully push through here, we can actually flank behind some of those units. They're a little less capable of attacking. Let's try to put our supply around here. We're going to put a supply hub here, get it closer to our troops so we can actually resupply them. And can I do it over here as well? Or can I only do one? There we go. All right, I'm trying to resupply our units as quickly as possible, but during the attacks on Normandy, supplies aren't really going to work out so well at the very start. Okay, let's go back to commanding our units. We have nothing else to call out, so we're pretty much good to go. So let's go ahead and start attacking again. So as I mentioned, the Germans really putting a roadblock here in front of Caen, and you know, British troops here are basically defending Pegasus Bridge, so that if the Germans are going to come across, it's here. So let's see what kind of a hurt we can put on these tanks. Oh, hell yeah. British troops just knocking those Panthers out. Beautiful work. Now, these tanks are going to be a little bit more hurt, so we're going to pull back a little bit. Some of our units are out of supply, so we're going to shift out. And the British, I guess, will stay around Bayeux. They're going to take the eastern side. We'll get all the Americans to work the western side now. Try to hit some of that German infantry here. We're probably going to hit these units. Beautiful. And we're going to push south continuously with our units here, trying to widen the front so we can get more supply here like we just did. So that was a good move for us to get supply. We're going to get some more troops up here, having to move everyone along the railroad bridges. All right, we're kind of confined now, as you can see. Excellent. All right, we'll send this tank, I think, over to our troops here and start pushing forward to Cherbourg. So we're getting lucky here so far. Pushing that infantry out of the way. Excellent. Keep it up, boys. Now, a lot of these units are out of supply. It's one thing I haven't been able to master in this game yet. I have a lot of fun with it, but I must master that technique of keeping everyone supplied. I'll watch a tutorial or something on that. But essentially, in this game, you need to keep your units closer to what is called supply hubs. So we can put down more supply hubs from these major towns and try to supply our units, though I'm not exactly sure. I'm newer to this game, and I didn't read the manual. But it's totally fine because we've got our units essentially advancing, and we can call them back and switch out, which is totally fine. So, wait a minute. Did I cancel that upgrade? No, let's try that again. I want to make sure we... There we go. Let's try to make sure everyone's supplied here. Supply network, supply hub is what we want to do. There we go. Perfect. So we're going to be supplying more units. That's good. That's a little close to the front, but that's good. We'll supply via the airfield. There we go. That's what we wanted to do. Excellent. There we go. Now I did it. Okay, so now we have more supply for our troops, but we're probably not perfect, but it doesn't matter. Still in the learning phases. This is my first D-Day. Fisher-Price is my first D-Day, I guess. Comes with everything you see here. Wehrmacht not included from Mattel. All right, I guess we're going to push closer towards Cherbourg now. Our troops are out of supply in one turn, though, so they do need to stay here. So we'll push further with these units. Uh-oh. Did you guys not move? Okay, I want these units staying here. We're going to try to keep everything supplied for a bit. So it looks like the Germans are really trying to counterattack. So we're just going to try to push our units out and keep everybody on a front line a little bit. There we go. So these are out of supply in 2 turns, so we'll pull these guys back over to the supply hub at the airfield. And block the area there at the bridge. We'll keep the tanks and stuff back. Essentially, the closer you are to the supply hub, the more points that they get. So I'm trying to keep everyone around major towns and such as we wait for the German counterattack. If we can cut through all those tanks and such, right here, it'll be nothing but infantry between us and Caen. And then, of course, we're getting pretty close to Cherbourg now, but we need to wait for that supply to kind of catch up with us. We need a few turns to pass for supply to be distributed to the troops. I think we're out of moves here. Let's see what else might have an available move. These guys can attack, but I don't know if I want to do that. We have to. We always have to attack, attack, attack. We got to try to push those Germans out of there as soon as possible. All right, let's see. We may lose some more units, but that's fine with me. As we have more reinforcements on the way, we need to gain territory and cut off enemy movement. Okay, there we go. All right, I don't want to get any closer to that bridge, so let's hand it over to the Germans. Well, so far, so good. We do have the beach. I didn't get clobbered on the beach, so that's good. Germans push forward there, taking some prisoners, it seems, of a weakened squad. I think that's a new system. I don't remember seeing that before. Prisoner system, so I'll have to figure out how that works as well. A neat new feature in the game. Oh yeah, the British are getting hella hurt from 4 Panzer IVs. That's crazy, the amount of units there. Oh, a hidden unit here from the Germans. Oh wow, lots of stuff coming through. Oh yeah, the Germans are fighting. Here we go, we got ourselves a battle. Ah, switching out with yet another group. Alright, now we got to keep cutting through those tanks. Should be able to finish off another group of Panthers I think we had before. We have another bomber at our disposal, which is great. So let's go ahead and keep on pushing. And we'll work on supply next. All right, let's keep weakening those tanks. The British are having a hell of a time over here, aren't they? Americans are faring a little better. So we can cut through some more infantry here. Especially in front of St. Lo. So let's go ahead and push through those units. Excellent. And let's have our infantry come up. And they are certainly dug in deep at St. Lo. That is crazy. All right, let's bomb the hell out of the tanks. There we go. That was some good hurt on those tanks. Excellent. All right, that's not going to do us well. Let's undo that. So an undo button, too, is if you make a move that you don't like, you can always undo it. Okay, we need this unit to be resupplied immediately. Okay, we'll put a supply hub there. Have those guys go back. Now, these troops here, I think we can dig these in. Engineers as well. Excellent. The Canadians have joined us. Wonderful. I need sort of, hell yeah. The Canadians just pleased that tank to death. All right, there we go. Please and thank you. Excellent. All right, no more naval bombardments for us, so the ships are basically out of the game for now. But we can push through here. The St. Lo battle is going to be one hell of a battle. Let's push south here. Oh boy, that is bad times. Let's go ahead and undo that. Oh, can't because we discovered units, and that would give us intel, which is unfair. That's kind of cool. All right. Oh boy, this is gonna be rough, boys. Try to come up on the flank of St. Lo, maybe. If I flank up here, I might be able to come up on the flank of St. Lo and start putting some hurt on the Germans. Let's put some even more hurt on the Germans. Let's try to scout on our way to Cherbourg. We have enemy tanks. Enemy infantry. There's an airfield here. Nothing there. Barnesville has more tanks and more infantry. Okay, and more tanks. Wow, tanks, tanks, tanks. I can't believe it. All right, we need to keep moving our troops through. So let's keep advancing towards this area here. Looks like we found a mechanized infantry, so it's not necessarily tanks that we found. Motorized and mechanized infantry seem to pop up as individual squads. Let's try to hit these guys in the flank then. Let's try to push towards Carentan then, or Cherbourg, sorry. And if we do that, we might be able to possibly have ourselves a better situation for income and supply is what I really need there. That's what it is not income but supply, which will keep our troops ready to fight. Well, good. We're expanding the front. That's great. Have these troops hit south of Carentan. And then the Germans will have one more wave of infantry to get through. Deploy now, British second. Oh, we can deploy HQs. Interesting. Let's try the American HQ here at... I didn't know you could do that. That's a new feature. American first here. Excellent. And let's redeploy our HQ for the British at Bayeux. Oh, I guess we can only put it there. Okay. All right, 30th Infantry. Excellent. All right, the Americans are closing in on Cherbourg. Excellent work, boys. Nicely done. Want the tank to stay in the back because I'm sure there's going to be trouble. And these infantry units are going to be out of supply too, so we'll pull back. Now again, I obviously I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I've got the feel for it. And so when you play this game for the first time, so long as you know things about World War II, can these ships actually move? Oh, it shows exactly where they can fire. Just basically one block in front of the beach there. Oh, actually, if they get that far, they can fire. That's cool. All right, let's go ahead and call in more recon. Nothing else for the Germans here, so it seems like once these tanks are out of the way, we're good to go. I wonder if these infantry can pull up. Looks like they got a 25-pounder with them, which is I believe, an anti-tank, or rather, artillery unit. Let's go ahead and undo that. All right, let's see. So we're keeping units back here. I hope we're still getting supply, as far as I can see. Some of these units are literally sitting on supply, and yet it says that they're out of supply in 3 turns, or for 3 turns they've been out of supply. Maybe. I haven't mastered it yet, but darn it, I still like it. All right, let's see. We can try to move some units. No, I think I'm gonna... I think we're good. Let's go ahead and make sure everything's good here. Let's check turns. Yeah, I think we're gonna hold here for the Germans to attack now. If we defend in force and get their tanks out of the way and some of their more powerful infantry, then we can have no problem here advancing. Here we are. Looks like they're going in for the kill here against the British. Lots of tanks there. The Brits are having a hell of a time. That is 3-4 tanks that they've got to fight against one. The Americans are having good times, but Monty is just being locked down. Germans reinforcing at Caen, reinforcing their panzers here, and locking down St. Uh-oh. That was a German HQ that moved closer to the front now. Oh, I wonder if we can bomb the hell out of that thing. If we can hit the German supply or command, that'd be good. Wow, British are having a hell of a day. Too bad we can't use those ships anymore. They've been bombarding for too long. All right, let's try to push in to Cherbourg now. Actually, we might be able to take that town. Let's try to complete one of our objectives at least today. We might not be able to see everything here, but damn it, it's a good time. We're going to try to secure the Americans then. Oh my, whoa! Look at all these units here. That's incredible. Germans were really ready. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. British seconds 2 CP spent on stragglers. What are these here? Oh, this shows like the fronts, I see. Oh wow, British Army Command operations. We can do, there's so much more here. Emergency supply, logistics, engineering. I didn't even realize this was here. Now that we've got our command set up, set piece attack. Oh wow, we can actually like have units prepare for artillery attacks and such. That's incredible. Wow. There is so much more to this game. I can't wait to learn it. If I had that, the HQ probably wouldn't have been able to set up for a long time. But that's amazing. Let's take a look at the American HQ and see what we've got here. Looks like we can do some more motor pools. Yep, so we can actually have more supplies and such delivered. That's wonderful. So you can actually reinforce things from the HQ and then start going with, yep, extra supplies and such. So there's this game has way more to it than I could have ever imagined. That's awesome to just learn just now. That's exciting. We can now repair bridges that have been damaged nearby. So, for example, this one cutting off the American forces. Boom, now supply has been reestablished from Carentan to the troops over here. That's great. And the British can do the same with this bridge that's been, I think that's right on the edge here. Let's see if we can actually repair that bridge. Might be able to do it. Oh, we can actually build bridges. Excellent, so we just built a pontoon bridge, which is probably a bad idea. The Germans, actually no, they'll have to come through Bayeux in order to do that. So we could actually send American armor back there if we wanted to and reinforce the British. But let's see how it plays out. Wow, there's so many, now that the HQ is here, there are huge moves that we can make. I've got a lot to learn, but we'll do that another time. I'll take a little offline practice and see if we can actually get good at this game and not be such a scrub. I wonder if capturing that airfield would do anything. You see an airfield there. I wonder if that would actually give us some sort of a bonus supply or whatnot. All right, let's get those damn Germans out of town and capture Cherbourg. Excellent, wonderful, and supply unlocks for all of our troops along the line. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. American troops walking right in. Hitler is going to be crying like a bee. Awesome, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. All right, how many objectives do we have off the list? We have Barneville here in the west to capture still, so we do need to come down from Cherbourg and kind of cut off the peninsula. Now, obviously, this is probably the way the American troops did it, but it's pretty close. We still have St. Lo to capture, which is going to be very difficult as it's really surrounded by a ton of infantry, and of course Caen, which is going to be hell, as we've got really just a lot of wow. Barneville actually has to be turn 7. So we have 5, 6, 7. So actually, we probably should have pushed to the west. I guess the way you attack should be based off of how they want you to get the objectives done. So we should have went for Barneville first. But Cherbourg was wide open, and I've just supplied all of the American troops all the way pretty much up to the center of the line, which is incredible. So we can figure out some more supply here. And in fact, reinforce the British HQ with supply, and that might actually be able to help the Americans. So let's put a motor pool there. Should be able to reinforce some of the troops around there. We can repair bridges, or we can build pontoon bridges. That's great. So that's the option I made. So I guess the repairing of the bridge could have been that one. But actually, this one's better because it's actually on this side, just past Bayeux. So the Germans have to get past the city rather than passing in front of it. So that's really exciting. Wow, this is so cool. I love discovering stuff like that. All right, well, we're in for a world of hurt. The Germans have a hell of a lot of tanks. And do we have any more vehicles to call up? 2 turns from now, we get a U.S. Armored and... yeah, 2 U.S. Armored, CCB, and CCA. So I don't think we can call up any other units or anything else, so we're in for a bad time. But let's see if the HQs can provide any sort of support or whatnot. Oh, force pool. We can actually reorganize and redeploy units and reinforce if we need to. So that's really cool. Let's move our tank here then to try to reinforce that line. Let's get the Americans here. I'm so excited. This is so cool. All right, let's get our forces there. All right, so we're going to try to reinforce Cherbourg and push down to Barneville. I might not be able to do that when they say, but I'm doing it my own way, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. This is awesome. All right, there we go. Germans push back a little bit. I think I'm going to defend here to make sure these Germans don't come across the bridge. There, we'll block that so that way they can't go into Carentan from here, and we'll reinforce Carentan with our troops here. Actually, we should probably leave these guys nearby, right about there with the motor pool. Perfect. All right, nothing else really. I'm not going to be attacking or whatnot. The Germans are just giving us a hell of a lot of problems now. Let's reinforce our motor pool. The British are probably going to fold here. They're surrounded by tanks. They've got nothing they can do. I don't know how the hell they did it. Boulder hats off to the British for their efforts in World War II. Look at this. They're surrounded by like four tanks. That's incredible. I bombed the hell out of those Panthers, but it wasn't enough. All right, there's probably some more moves we can make at the HQ, and I'm sure some people are screaming at their screen, but it doesn't matter. Let's keep on rolling to the next turn and see what happens. Okay. Oh man, this is very exciting. I love seeing these plans and such play out on both sides. And it gives me ideas for if you can defend as the Germans as well. That'd be kind of cool to play. I think you can only do the missions as the Allies so far, unless you're playing as like a hot seat round. But I'm sure there's some scenarios where you can play as the Germans as well. But it would be nice. I've seen other games before where you can play a scenario from either side, such as when we played, not Unity of Command, that's what we're playing now, but games such as Close Combat, where you can play from either the German or the Allied perspective. All right, well, the Brits are going to definitely need some reinforcements from us, and now even the Americans are being threatened by German Panthers. Hell, this was put on easy, and it's like, wow. All right, do we have any more cards? Well, we have nothing to save us. And more German reinforcements coming. More infantry and possibly more tanks or motorized. Crazy. All right, well, let's go ahead and keep hitting these tanks some more. We definitely need these Panthers the hell out of the way. As the Germans are pushing, we need to keep hitting those tanks. Those are absolute death machines. All right, I wonder if this tank can deal with this one here. Well, it looks like we can wipe out the Panthers, but without consequence, I don't know. Oh, we sure did. Little bit of damage there, but we're good. All right, there we go. We're starting to fight that German armor back. Hell yeah. There we go. Okay, turning the tide of battle now, baby. That's right. Okay, Americans here at Cherbourg need to clean out the rest of the Germans there, but they've only retreated. They haven't actually stopped the fight. Wow, advancing any further is going to be hell. Barnville is, the barn door is not open. It is not wide open. We're in for bad times here. Looks like the Germans have Fallschirmjägers behind St. Lo, so flanking is going to be hell. Wow. So it all comes down to now using those HQ abilities and being really detailed and such with them. That's really cool. Like making sure you, like everything is a chess move now. It's not just like, wait, what does this do? It's got to be like calculated. It's awesome. Very good. Oh, I think advanced strategists are going to really like this. I can't wait for videos to come out where people are going to be like, capturing Berlin in 2 turns. It's like, what? Dude, you started in London. Well, we called Hitler and asked him to knock it off, and he was like, sorry, bro. Cool. Let's go up this way, and let's try to get all these forces here. We're trying to essentially lock down around here so I can resupply the British forces. There's probably some more things the HQ can do for logistics and such. And the developers, of course, can go into great detail and showing how to play and everything like that. This is going to be a real fun game. I think this is more exciting to play than it is to watch, maybe, because you can really make some good moves here. Looks like we can also issue more emergency supplies as needed, though the British can't do it. It seems like each supply HQ gets points to spend per turn, maybe, so the Americans have 2 more points on certain things. I don't know if we can resupply British, but what else do we have? Feint attack orders a unit to attack. We also have suppressive fire. Can we actually tell this unit to... Oh, they actually have a suppressive fire order. So city... Okay. So now that may have pinned the Germans down. Okay. Wow, all sorts of different strategic moves and different tactics and such that weren't here before. I'm basing my knowledge basically off the last game, and this is really an advanced thing. The developer said, yeah, this ain't the, this looks like the old game, but it ain't. And it actually looks very beautiful, too. Just to give a little tip of the hat to all the bridges and the fields and everything like that. That just looks incredible. Very cool. All right, well, last thing I want to show you guys, though, this is a early preview. We have to just take St. Lo and Caen to finish everything up here. We can come back to it if it gets enough support. I think we might be able to do it. Barnville over here, St. Lo and Caen are just inches away, so I think we might be able to make the we might be able to make it, but we'd have to go all in. since we'll have to defend against the German counterattacks in all areas, and once they're weak enough, push through to Barneville, which is just right over here. I think we could do it with this tank against that infantry. Then St. Lo, which again, we have a tank here, and we could probably push through some of that. Plus, we also have access to some other things here. In one turn, we'll get some other armor on the field. So I think we can do that. But anyway, we are out of time for this episode. Let's go ahead and go back just to the main menu. And again, remind everybody about the Victory in the West campaign. I just want to show this off because it's got a quite interesting intro to the game as well. So if you want to see me finish up the Operation Overlord with what I know now, again, click or tap that like button and let me know you want to see a part 2. But anyway, the main campaign starts like this, talking about how the German 6th Army surrenders in the east and that the Soviets took a bunch of prisoners and are starting to push forward. As a result of that, the Germans are evacuating the Rezev salient and then are attacking at Kharkov in order to slow the Soviets down. So in late 1943, there's a very big slowdown. There's kind of a stalemate. The front stabilizes. And then March and April of 1943, British 8th Army breaks the Meurthe line, and the Germans, or rather the Americans, attack the Germans from the west and are pushing east, and the final battles of North Africa begin. So essentially there's a campaign mode too, where a lot of these cards and stuff, you can choose all these things and put them into your, you can like call these units in or whatever, save them for later. And then, of course, you can do your general staff, where, again, you can take a look at your different types of HQs and customize those, it seems, or at least read more about them. And then start your operations in North Africa, and then go right over to Sicily. That's going to be cool. All right, guys, well, that is it for our first look here. It was a quick one, considering that this game is very in-depth and strategic, but I hope you enjoyed. And again, I appreciate everyone being here for Unity of Command 2. I want to play this game some more, so please do give it some support. Defeat that algorithm, everyone, and show some love to a game that is quite unique. And I don't think we have enough World War II games. To be honest, if we had 100 a year, I still don't think that's enough. I want to see more strategy, more card games, more real-time strategy, turn-based strategy. Doesn't matter. I like them. All right, guys, I'll see you next time for more. Thank you very much for being here. Take care. Much love. I'll see you next time. And use your blinker.